Let's get the conversation restarted now on the issues of 2019 and the preparation of the umpire. Joining us from our Abuja studio is Mr. Samson Itodo, an election observer and the executive director of GIAGA. Also is a convener of Not Too Young to Run movement. Many thanks, Mr. Samson Itodo, for your time on the program tonight. And also we've had Dr. Tunji Abayami, who has also been talking to us. But let me quickly get your take before we go on a break, Mr. Itodo, on this very crucial one. Where do you think these will all end altogether? It's been a very big controversy which concerns a lot of Nigeria. A lot of will change in the sequence of election, whether or not it's 3 weekends or 2 weekends. What are your thoughts?
I think it's important to reiterate that the sequence of elections first has implications for elections logistics. It has implications even for political parties. It also has implications on voter turnout. Like the INEC chairman said, the Electoral Commission is bound by the provisions of the law. And if the lawmakers, in their own wisdom, whether informed by their own selfish political interest or not, decide to alter with the order of elections, they will be bound by the provisions of the law. And I think that it is very, very important that as we are 365 days to the elections, the National Assembly, while performing its constitutional responsibility, must ensure that the overall interest of Nigeria precedes their personal or selfish interest. In as much as lawmaking falls within their legislative constitutional competence, they must be informed and guided by the interest of this country. And for me, we need to really underscore that, because the altering of the sequence of the election has created unnecessary tension within the polity. And we don't need that as a country that is preparing for elections. And the fact that it's coming even after the Electoral Commission had released the calendar of events or the timetable for the 2019 elections actually creates a lot of worry.
If I may quickly come to our Lagos studio here with Dr. Abayami, from your own point of view, do you think INEC is ready, considering the number of people that have been registered? For a first time, we've seen that almost immediately after 2015 elections, the continuous voter registration exercise started and is ongoing. But they said it's only about 4 million people that have been registered after the 2015 elections.
Well, I believe INEC will be ready, may not be ready right now. The closeness of the election obviously will agitate greater commitment to preparedness, in my view. INEC is trying. The point is that we must also emphasize the responsibility of we, the people of Nigeria. The elections, the credibility of election in our country is not just the problem of INEC. It's also the problem of we, the people of Nigeria. And the only way that can be guaranteed and assured is a commitment to support the paramountcy of proper, regular, credible election by electoral umpire. We tend to pay a whole lot of attention to INEC. If, for example, in a state, a whole lot of underaged decide to vote, there's very little INEC can do. The laws are there, the procedures are there, the consciousness is also there. INEC cannot, for example, do a whole lot. The point is that there's a need for a greater consciousness. I think what INEC can also do is to help to build this consciousness, a new realization that in our nation, there's a need to do things properly.
Let's talk about what you politicians do.
Yes.
The sequence of election has caused a lot of talk on the political scene.
Yes.
What implication do you think that will have, politically speaking?
Well, I do agree with my colleague, who is the younger participant, or is it Otobo?
Samson Itodo.
Yes, Itodo, from Abuja, that it will appear to make sense that the sequence be not changed. in light of the fact that INEC has already released the timetable, the procedure, and in light of the fact that we actually have very limited time, we're talking of 1 year, to an emergence of a new president. And let us also understand that between this time and that time, a whole lot of political activities are going to take place. We're going to have primaries, we're going to have congresses, we're going to have primaries, we're going to have campaign and election. So it will appear sensible that even if that is going to be done, it should not be in this electoral season. It should perhaps, if in fact the National Assembly is convinced that there is a very serious and urgent reason to change it, perhaps it should be in the next electoral season.
Okay, it's interesting. Mr. Itodo, if you look at what INEC says it is done, especially in the CVR, some of you were on the streets of Nigeria today sensitizing Nigerians on the need to register to vote and participate in the process. Are you disappointed with the perhaps the number of voters that we have? If you look at the number of people who voted in 2015, just about 25% of about 68 million voters in 2015, compared to the amount of people that have registered as voters ahead of 2019.
Well, Sheldon, it might interest you to know that Nigeria has the largest number of registered voters managed by a singular electoral commission. And we've got over 70 million registered voters. However, in our last two elections, voter turnout has been less than 50%, and that's quite worrisome. A situation when we talk about democracy, by its simplistic definition is government of the people or government of the majority. What we have been seeing over the years is a minority actually deciding for the majority. And that's something we must seek to upturn. And when we went to the streets today across 18 cities, it was simply to tell citizens that their permanent voters card, and voting determines the kind of food they eat, it determines the clothes they wear, it determines everything. Therefore, we can't just sit back and say we will not participate in the process. It doesn't make sense that we have over 70 million registered voters, and at the end of the day for elections, we only see 29 million or less than 30 million people actually showed up or turn up for elections. So what happens to the over 40 million registered voters? If you look at what happened in Anambra, for instance, considering the number of voters that actually registered in Anambra, we only recorded 21% voter turnout. And that's what we seek to reverse by encouraging citizens to go register. If you've not, if you're 18 and you've not registered to vote, please go to the registration centers and register to vote. We understand that there are technical challenges, the machines are slow. In fact, one of the persons I met today was expressing his frustration at the difficulty on getting registered. And what I try to say to intending registrants is fixing this country is going to take patience, is going to take resilience, is going to take perseverance. And we urge intending registrants to persevere.
All right.
And
Mr.
be patient with the registration officials.
All right, Mr. Itodo, if I may ask you quickly, if you can answer also quickly, do you think, as it looks now, that INEC is ready?
Well, with respect to whether INEC is ready, to the extent that they have declared or announced the dates of the elections, they appear to be ready. However, we must keep in mind, just like the speaker in Lagos said, that the success of an election or election is a multi-stakeholder enterprise. Today, we have not settled the legal framework. INEC has just said that the budget, the election budget, will be ready in 7 days for appropriation before transmission to the National Assembly. We're also dealing with voter registration.
All right.
We also have election security issues to deal with. But the Electoral Commission is in Lagos putting together and reviewing its EPP, the election project plan. We do hope that they will be ready in the next couple of weeks. But the success of the election will be contingent on how the other stakeholders perform their roles and their responsibilities in guaranteeing a successful 2019 elections.
We must close now because we are out of time. But let me allow you, just in 10 seconds, Dr. Abayomi, do you think INEC is ready? Just in 10 seconds.
Well, I believe, yes, I believe. And the most essential issue, are Nigerians ready?
That's a big question. Yeah. Dr. Tuya Abayomi, always a pleasure having you on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you also, Samson Itodo, for your time on the program. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for being part of the show. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye-bye.